Hello, I'm Dr. Jamal Javanmardi,
My name is Oscar Cisneros.
I'm Lupe Reyes.
and we are going to demonstrate how to grow microgreens. Microgreens, nature's nutrient-packed powerhouses. In this presentation, the fascinating world of microgreens will be explored. We are going to learn what microgreens are. I will introduce these tiny yet mighty greens that have taken the culinary and nutrition world by storm. As an introduction, microgreens are young edible seedlings, typically harvested within just 7 to 21 days. Think of them as concentrated versions of adult plants, packed with nutrients and incredible flavor. Whether enhancing your health or adding a finishing touch to your dishes, microgreens deliver in every aspect. Let's find out why. Defining microgreens. Microgreens are harvested early, at the cotyledon stage before the true leaves emerge. This means they have a high concentration of nutrients and are perfect as both a healthy food and a culinary addition. It is incredible how something so small can pack such a powerful nutritional punch. First, let's compare microgreens with mature vegetables. This slide helps you differentiate microgreens from their mature vegetable counterparts. Microgreens are harvested young, whereas mature vegetables take months to develop. This short growth phase makes microgreens a quick and efficient crop. Not only are they faster, but they also offer more intense flavors, which is why chefs love using microgreens. Now let's differentiate between microgreens and sprouts. Microgreens are harvested 7 to 21 days after germination, whereas sprouts are taken at around 3 to 6 days. Sprouts are great for their crunchy texture and enzyme content, while microgreens are all about flavor concentration and nutrient density. Both are wonderful, but microgreens stand out for their culinary versatility. In this slide, we can see the differences between microgreens, sprouts, and baby leaf vegetables. Sprouts are germinated seeds with root tails, usually harvested after 3 to 6 days. Microgreens are harvested after 7 to 21 days, when cotyledon leaves are fully developed, and baby leaf vegetables are harvested after 15 to 40 days, when true leaves are developed, but they are still young. Let's talk about the life cycle of microgreens. The life cycle of microgreens begins with seed germination, followed by cotyledon stage, which is the main harvest point for microgreens, and then moves on to true leaf emergence. The cotyledon stage is where we see peak flavor and nutrition. Categories of microgreens. Microgreens come in various categories: vegetable greens, herbs, and even grains and legumes. Each of these categories brings unique flavors to the table. For instance, kale microgreens offer a peppery bite, while basil microgreens provide a sweet and slightly peppery accent, and wheatgrass and barleygrass microgreens give the juices grassy, earthy flavors. Now let's look at some popular varieties, from red garnet mustard to the nutty flavor of sunflower microgreens. Each variety brings something special. The spicy radish microgreens are perfect for adding a punch to your dishes. These aren't just greens, they are dynamic ingredients. Culinary uses of microgreens. Microgreens are incredibly versatile in the kitchen. You can use them to enhance a salad, top your sandwiches for added crunch, or even blend them into smoothies for a nutrient boost. You can use them as a gourmet garnish. They make dishes look beautiful and taste amazing. Now let's talk about why microgreens are such a great crop to grow. They are nutrient dense, quick to grow, and there is a growing demand in the market. Whether you are a small farmer or just growing at home, the economic potential is quite promising. Microgreens have a short growth cycle, making them an efficient choice, especially for urban or limited space environments. And finally, the health benefits of microgreens. They contain up to 40 times more nutrients than their mature counterparts, making them a true superfood. They are good for digestion and immunohealth, and can also support weight management due to their low calorie and high nutrient content. I hope this presentation about microgreens has inspired you to think differently about these tiny greens, from their nutritional power to their potential in the kitchen and marketplace. Microgreens are truly nature's powerhouse. Growing microgreens, an overview from seed to harvest. This presentation will provide an overview of microgreen production from seed to harvest. Introduction. Microgreens are a highly nutritious and flavorful produce that is relatively simple to grow indoors. Microgreens enhance culinary experiences and provide a sense of accomplishment and sustainability, particularly for those interested in controlled environment agriculture. This lecture is an overview of the microgreen production from seed to harvest. Preparing your growing trays. The first fundamental step in this process involves properly preparing growing trays. You need two trays, one with drainage holes and another without. Position the tray with holes within the one without holes to facilitate adequate drainage while maintaining moisture, which is crucial for seedling health. It is essential to thoroughly clean both trays to establish a conducive environment for microgreen to thrive. Setting up your growing medium. The next step is to establish a suitable growing medium. A high-quality potting mix is recommended, ideally composed of perlite and peat moss. This combination provides the optimal balance of drainage and moisture retention, which is particularly significant for delicate microgreen roots. Distribute the soil evenly across the tray, avoiding any compression, and create a level surface for uniform seed distribution. Sowing your microgreen seeds. Seed sowing is the true beginning of our microgreen cultivation. Select your preferred variety based on flavor, profiles, or nutritional benefits. Be aware that larger seeds, such as sunflower or pea, require pre-soaking to facilitate optimal germination. Disperse the seeds across the prepared soil and press them gently to ensure proper seed-to-soil contact. This step enhances moisture absorption, which is critical for germination. Conclude with an initial water misting to provide adequate moisture for emerging seedlings. The germination phase. Once the seeds have been sown, the germination phase is initiated. Cover the seeded tray with an additional tray and place some weight on top. This technique stimulates natural soil pressure, which encourages strong, robust seedlings. Allow the seeds to germinate undisturbed for several days and regularly monitor moisture levels. When the seedlings begin to push against the weighted tray, you will know that the germination phase has successfully concluded. Light exposure and watering. After germination, the trays must be relocated under light to facilitate photosynthesis and support the next growth phase. Provide a thorough initial watering at this stage, as the seedlings have not been watered during germination. Thereafter, establish a consistent watering schedule, ideally in the morning. As the seedlings mature and develop a dense canopy, switch to bottom watering to protect the delicate foliage from damage and prevent fungal growth. Monitoring growth and adjusting care. At this stage, careful monitoring of plant health is necessary. Observing your microgreens daily for any signs of stress or nutrient deficiencies is crucial for success. Bottom watering becomes essential as the plants develop and form a complete canopy to minimize mold risk and maintain a healthy growing environment. Growth timelines will vary depending on the microgreen variety. Thus, it is important to track each accordingly and adjust environmental factors such as light, temperature, and humidity to avoid common issues such as excessive elongation. Harvesting and enjoying your microgreens. Your microgreens will be ready for harvest in approximately 1 week after introducing light. Use clean, sharp scissors or a knife to cut the microgreens just above the soil surface. This method ensures the preservation of their delicate texture and flavor. The harvested microgreens can be used in many culinary applications, from salads to sandwiches or to garnishes, providing aesthetic appeal and significant health benefits owing to their rich concentration of nutrients and antioxidants. And finally, it is important to consider the continuity of production. After each harvest, prepare the trays once again to begin the next cultivation cycle. Through proper planning and maintenance, it is entirely feasible to establish a continuous cycle of microgreen production, ensuring a fresh supply throughout the year. This practice maximizes yield and enhances sustainability, a vital concept in modern agricultural practices. In conclusion, the successful production of microgreens involves attention to detail at every stage, from initial tray preparation to harvest. These steps may appear simple, but they demand precision and consistency. Microgreens represent a valuable, nutritionally dense food source, and mastering their production is both an enjoyable and enriching endeavor.
Alright. Now we're going to be talking about the supplies that you'll need to start your own microgreens production. Right here in front of me is our sanitation equipment and PPE equipment as well. So here on the right we have just some normal bleach that you can find at the store. You can use this as a disinfectant. You do have to check your local regulations though to check how much you need to put in your water to make sure that it's safe for to touch the plants. We also have this other food grade sanitation solution. This, we mix it in with water and it'll say on the directions how much you need to use. This was an easier route for us. We just found it easier to just go with the tried and true food safe and food grade disinfectant to clean our trays. Also, gloves are super important. So we use these when we're washing our trays, and then we use the single-use ones when we're harvesting and seeding. That just ensures that any pathogens aren't getting passed around, especially when you're harvesting your greens. You want to make sure that they're super clean. We also have a spray bottle here. This is where we'll put our disinfectant solution, but we'll also put a hydrogen peroxide solution that we use especially when we're seeding sometimes for some of our more vulnerable varieties. We also want to have a sponge, some paper towels just around, and then we use a bucket to mix our solution. It just makes it way easier for us. And so these are just some of the equipment for disinfecting. You might find that in your region, you know, some are more readily available than others. So check your local regulations and your local suppliers to see what works for you. All right, now getting into the grows. These are some of the supplies that you may find you need when you're growing your microgreens. So to start off, we like to weigh our seeds. And so the way that we do that is just with the little scale. You can find these, you know, online, at your local store, things like that. Any type of scale will work. You wanna check the reviews though, because some of them are better than others. Another way that we also measure our seed is just by volume. So this is just a third of a cup measuring cup here that we have. For some varieties, we found that just a third of a cup is good. For other varieties, we do want to measure out, and you know, it might be grams or ounces that you use, but you might want to, you know, go with one or the other. Next are the trays. So you can find a variety of trays in different sizes. So this is just a 10 by 10 here. This is a 10 by 20, and there's also different, you know, different qualities. So this is a little bit of a cheaper one. This is a pretty hardy plastic one here. And then this is a 10 by 20, but 1 inch high tray. Depending on the varieties that you're growing, some trays might be better suited, just depending on the height of the tray. But overall, I mean, if you're using them, you might want to invest in some sturdier trays. Soil. So we grow in a potting mix here. We found that there's better flavor that way, but you can grow hydroponically in coco coir, and there's a lot of different other growing mediums that you can use, but we go with soil. Obviously, you're going to need your seeds. Here are just some sunflower seeds, and like we mentioned, there's a lot of different varieties that you can grow as microgreens. And then you're going to want to label your trays. So we just use painter's tape and a Sharpie, but there's different ways that you can, you know, manage your system. And then lastly, once all the trays are planted, we stack them on top of each other, kind of like this, and then we'll put a tray on top of them with some bricks. This just weighs them down and ensures that the seedlings grow into the soil nicely. And then once they're ready to be unstacked, you'll notice that the trays kind of lift up a little bit, and that means that they're ready to be, you know, put on the shelves. All right, and lastly, harvesting equipment. We like to use a knife. It just ensures that we get a clean cut when we're cutting those microgreens. This is a smaller one, but you can use, you know, get up to a 12-inch knife. That'll just slice right through the whole tray. And then we package our microgreens in these clamshells. They've worked great for us. They help keep some of that humidity in the tray and just ensures that the microgreens last a little bit longer in the store. And yeah. And so behind me is how we grow our trays. So we use shelves. We do have a drip line in here, and then we also have grow lights. Depending on your budget, you might want to go with some cheaper grow lights. In a greenhouse like this, we found that we don't need to have the grow lights on all the time. So they're supplemental, especially during winter. But they are helpful to have, especially if you're going indoors, you're definitely going to need them. And then we have a drip line here, but you can use sprayers, or we've also found that underwatering works really well to prevent mold and disease spreading. And then we just want to make sure that we're double stacking our trays. So here we have a tray with holes and a tray without holes. This just makes sure that any pathogens that might be on the top shelf don't trickle down to the bottom. It'll keep your greens much cleaner and safer for your customers.
Microgreen varieties. Choosing the right microgreen varieties is key to successful growing. In this presentation, we will explore top varieties that are easy to handle and deliver the best results for new microgreen growers. We will also learn about their growth characteristics, culinary uses, and presence in different market sectors. helping you make informed decisions. Common microgreen varieties. Popular choices include sunflower microgreens, known for their nutty flavor and delicate leaves. Radish microgreens offer a spicy kick, while pea shoots are mild and sweet, perfect for salads and sandwiches. The rich flavor profiles of arugula and kale microgreens provide a peppery punch, while broccoli microgreens bring a slightly bitter note with a hint of sweetness. Growth habit and characteristics. Some microgreens like mustard and red cabbage exhibit a rapid growth rate, making them ideal for quick harvests. Others, like basil, require a bit more time to develop their full flavor and texture. The variety of colors, shapes, and textures among microgreens adds visual appeal to culinary creations, complementing a diverse range of dishes. It is important to understand which varieties grow quickly and which need more attention to achieve the best harvest. Culinary uses of microgreens. Microgreens are widely used as garnishes, salad toppers, sandwich fillings, and soup and stews. As garnishes, they add bursts of color, flavor, and texture to dishes, enhancing visual appeal and providing a fresh element to many types of cuisines. As salad toppers, they elevate salads with concentrated flavors and unique textures, enhancing both tastes and nutritional value of salads. As sandwich fillings, they contribute in crunchiness, flavor, and nutrients. They work well in both simple and gourmet sandwich recipes. And in soups and stews, they bring freshness, visual appeal, and complexity, providing a delightful contrast to richer ingredients. Microgreens are also used for their unique flavors. For example, arugula adds a pungent, slightly bitter flavor with a spicy kick, making it perfect for salads, sandwiches, and pizzas, where a bold flavor is desired. Spinach microgreens have a mild, sweet, slightly earthy flavor that complements a wide range of ingredients without overpowering them, ideal for adding subtle sweetness. Broccoli microgreens offer a mild, sweet, slightly nutty taste, suitable for both savory and sweet applications, adding a nuanced depth to dishes. And lemon balm delivers a bright, citrusy flavor, which can enhance salads, seafood, and sauces, adding a refreshing and aromatic note. Microgreens in the culinary industry. Microgreens add sophistication, elegance, and freshness to fine dining dishes, enhancing visual and flavor profiles in creative culinary applications. They also have become popular in casual dining due to their vibrant colors, unique textures, and ability to contribute to a health-focused eating experience. And in home cooking, microgreens are easy to use and versatile, making them a favorite among home cooks for experimenting with flavors, creating healthier meals, and enhancing presentation at home. Microgreens in the hospitality industry. Microgreens are a staple for enhancing the elegance of high-end dishes with the vibrant colors and flavor. Adding microgreens to cocktails provides color, flavor, and surprising culinary twist, enhancing both the drink's visual and taste profiles. Microgreens also cater to guests seeking healthy and visually appealing dishes, showcasing a commitment to culinary innovation and high-quality ingredients. Microgreens in the retail market. The surging interest in healthy, flavorful foods is driving the popularity of microgreens in retail markets. Consumers are looking for convenient, nutritious options to add to their diets. Microgreens are available in supermarkets, specialty stores, farmers market, and online channels, ensuring they are accessible to a wide audience. Therefore, clear and visually appealing packaging that highlights microgreens' vibrant colors and texture is essential for attracting consumers and preserving freshness. Effective marketing that emphasizes nutritional benefits, culinary versatility, and unique flavors helps microgreen products stand out in an increasingly competitive market. Now let's talk about different groups of microgreens. Arugula, spinach, kale, and mustard greens are the common leafy microgreens. Arugula is known for its peppery and slightly bitter flavor. Arugula adds a spicy kick to salads and sandwiches, enhancing the depth of flavor. Spinach microgreens are mild, sweet, and slightly earthy. They are rich in vitamins, making them a nutritious addition that complements many dishes without overpowering other ingredients. Kale microgreens have a slightly bitter and nutty taste, with a darker green color. They add a tough texture and are loaded with vitamins and antioxidants. And mustard greens provide a spicy, tangy, and slightly bitter flavor, adding a peppery zest to salads, sandwiches, and wraps, enhancing the flavor experience. Herb microgreens. Basil, chive, dill, parsley, rosemary, and thyme are the most common herb microgreens. Basil microgreens have a sweet, peppery, and a slightly minty flavor, adding a fresh aromatic element to salads, pastas, and garnishes. Chive microgreens offer a milder, onion-like flavor with a hint of garlic, making them ideal for garnishing soups, salads, and seafood dishes. Dill microgreens have a distinctive, slightly sweet, and anise-like flavor. They are great for pairing with fish, adding complexity to salads or flavoring dressings. Bright, fresh, and slightly peppery parsley microgreens bring a burst of freshness to a variety of dishes, from garnishes to main ingredients. And rosemary and thyme microgreens are known for their strong, pungent flavors, enhancing the aroma and taste of many dishes, especially roasted meats and vegetables. Brassica microgreens. Broccoli, cauliflower, radish, and kohlrabi. Each of these varieties brings unique flavors ranging from mildly sweet to peppery and spicy. They are excellent for adding both vibrant color and delicate texture to salads, wraps, and cooked dishes. Their flavor profiles make them versatile in culinary applications and suitable for a wide range of recipes. Now, let's be more specific about some microgreen varieties. Pea microgreens. These are easy to grow, quick to harvest, and produce high yields. Their sweet flavor is ideal for adding a fresh touch to salads and stir-fries. Radish microgreens. These are known for their ease of growth and vibrant colors. Radish microgreens add a spicy kick and visual appeal to many dishes. Sunflower microgreens. While requiring more maintenance, sunflower microgreens are rich in protein and probiotics, contributing to a healthy diet. Broccoli microgreens. highly nutritious broccoli microgreens contain sulforaphane, a compound known for its numerous health benefits, making them a powerhouse of nutrition. They are relatively easy to grow, but more vulnerable to overwatering. Here is the image of various seeds and their microgreens for your reference. Let's talk about choosing the right varieties. First, determine whether you are growing microgreens for culinary uses and nutritional benefits or as a commercial crop to make the best choice. Then, select varieties that align with your growing experience and your available environmental conditions. Then, try growing different varieties to find those that best meet your taste preferences and your customers' needs. It is about learning what works best for you. Now, grow with confidence. The top 4 varieties of peas, radishes, sunflower, and broccoli that we covered are beginners friendly, ensuring an easy start for new growers. These microgreens can be used in a wide range of dishes, adding flavor, texture, and nutrition. Many microgreens provide exceptional health benefits, offering concentrated vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, and they can be a lucrative addition to your urban farm or home growing operation, especially with their fast growth cycle and high market demand. With the knowledge of the top microgreen varieties, you are ready to begin your journey as a successful microgreen grower. Start small, experiment with different varieties, and enjoy the process of nurturing these nutrient-dense greens. The more you grow, the more you will learn, and both your customers and your health will benefit from your efforts. Grow confidently and have fun.
Now we're going to be talking about the different varieties that you can grow as microgreens. Here in front of me I have a couple different varieties. Here are some sunflowers, some beet seeds. This is a wasabi mustard. And over here is some broccoli. There's a bunch of different varieties that you can grow depending on your growing region. If you're growing indoors or outdoors, that could change what varieties you grow, as well as what your customers or chefs might want in your region. We personally really enjoy growing the sunflowers, peas, and radishes because of how easy they are to grow, and they have very consistent grows every time. Some of the other really good varieties are broccoli and any of the brassicas. They're really high in nutrients, and we can use them in a lot of our different mixes, and they always produce a really good crop. There are a couple different varieties as well that you can use. So we use the Waltham 29 broccoli, and we've also experimented with a purple sprouting broccoli. So we found that they were very consistent in grows. We just ended up sticking with the Waltham 29. We've also tried the red acre cabbage. That one's worked really well for us. It has this nice purple color when it sprouts, and when you present it, it looks phenomenal. The wasabi mustard has been great for the local sushi restaurants. It's a mustard, and so it does pretty well in a variety of growing conditions, but they can be a little bit more finicky, especially when they're overwatered. Cilantro is another great one, but you might have to experiment with different growing conditions and growing mediums to get the best results, as these seeds do tend to get stuck in on the leaves. Beets are a great option as well. They have a subtle beet flavor and are pretty sweet, and you can find them in a variety of different colors. We're trying out an albino variety here, and we've also grown just the classic red beet. They're great, they're good for mixes, and chefs love them. So the radishes, we've grown a couple different varieties. We've found 3 that we really like: the China rose radish, the daikon radish, and a purple sprouting radish. These 3 gives us an array of colors, especially when we're at the market. and they provide that nice radish flavor that can go well with a bunch of different meals. Peas, we're trying out this new variety of speckled peas here, but we've had really good luck with the yellow peas as well as green peas. Just depending on your growing conditions or maybe your seed provider, one variety might be a little better than the other. Peas do take a little bit longer to grow out though, give them about 21 days on average, so they are a little bit longer of a crop, and as well as the cilantro and beets. Those just take a little bit longer. And lastly, the sunflowers. We went with the black oil sunflower seeds here, and we find that they're ready in about 6 to 7 days. Especially in a greenhouse and during the summer months where it's really warm, you can find them ready in almost 5 days. One of the issues that we did have with the sunflowers though is a little bit of mold. But to fix that, just use some of that 1% hydrogen peroxide solution when you're seeding and as well as when you're stacking your trays, and that should help mitigate some of that. Some other varieties that are worth mentioning are buckwheat. That one does really well. It has a very subtle flavor, but you can include it in some of your mixes, and maybe some of your chefs will want those as well.
Growing microgreens. In this video, we are going to explore the world of microgreen production. This journey will take us through the entire process, from choosing the right seeds to cultivating, managing, and marketing the product. As an overview, microgreens are typically grown in trays using either soil, soilless medium, or hydroponic mats. They can also be grown in repurposed containers, like takeout boxes or custom-built systems. Lighting is crucial for their growth. Microgreens can be cultivated indoors under grow lights or placed on a sunny window sill. Consistent moisture is key, but care must be taken not to overwater. And the harvest time is usually ranges from 7 to 21 days after planting, depending on the type of microgreen, with microgreens typically begin harvested when they reach 2 to 3 inches in height by cutting them just above the soil line. Growing systems for microgreens. Microgreens can be produced using a variety of growing systems, including indoor production and greenhouse production. Indoor systems provide complete control over the growing environment, making them ideal for urban or space-limited settings. LED lighting is most often used, which allows for precise adjustment of light spectrum and duration to optimize growth. Maintaining ideal temperature and humidity indoors also ensures consistency and quality of the crop. Greenhouses offer a balance between natural and artificial conditions, with the use of sunlight supplemented by artificial light to ensure consistent exposure. Greenhouse production allows growers to reduce energy costs while maintaining a controlled environment. Fans, vents, and supplemental heating or cooling systems help maintain optimal conditions, and it's a great cost-effective solution for year-round production with lower initial investment compared to fully indoor systems. Choosing the right substrate. The substrate or growing medium plays a crucial role in determining the health and growth rate of microgreens. Soil is rich in organic matter and provides good stability and nutrients for microgreen growth. It's best suited for those who prefer an organic approach. However, it requires careful monitoring for potential pathogens and maintaining consistent quality. Soilless mediums like peat moss, coconut coir, perlite, and vermiculite are popular choices due to their consistency, excellent water retention, and aeration properties. These options create an environment that minimizes pathogens, but might need added nutrients depending on the crop. Hydroponic mats made of rock wool, jute, or hemp provide a clean, efficient environment, allowing growers to precisely control nutrient delivery. These mats are particularly advantageous for those focusing on hydroponic production, but do involve higher upfront costs and require careful nutrient management. Choosing the right containers. Selecting the correct container can impact both the efficiency and sustainability of microgreen production. Plastic trays are widely used due to their cost-effectiveness and durability. They come in various sizes, are easy to clean, and can be reused multiple times. Trays with drainage holes are preferred to prevent waterlogging. Wooden trays are a more natural option and are well aerated but require proper maintenance to avoid mold. They also add an aesthetic appeal, which is beneficial for marketing. Recycled containers like yogurt tubs or milk cartons can be a sustainable choice. These containers need thorough cleaning and sanitizing to avoid contamination, but provide a cost-effective and eco-friendly way to grow microgreens. Custom-built systems are good for large-scale operations. Customized systems may include automated irrigation, stacked trays, and vertical configurations. These systems help maximize space utilization and efficiency. Seed selection and planting. First, choose quality seeds. Selecting high-quality non-GMO seeds is crucial for successful production. Specialized microgreen seeds are typically tested for high germination rates and are disease-free. To prepare the growing medium, ensure it's very moist before sowing seeds, whether in soil, coconut coir, or a hydroponic mat. Too much moisture can cause seeds to rot, while too little may delay germination. Sow the seeds evenly to prevent overcrowding and ensure each seedling receives enough light, nutrients, and space to grow. This step can be done by hand for smaller trays or using a seeding tool for larger setups. Then, lightly cover the seeds with the growing medium and mist them gently to keep the surface moist. This helps promote uniform germination without disturbing the seeds. Seeding density and germination. Finding the right seeding density is crucial. Overcrowding can lead to poor airflow, increasing the likelihood of mold and resulting in spindly, weak microgreens. The key is to create a carpet of greens that is lush but not too dense. Pre-soaking. Seeds with harder seed coats such as sunflower or pea seeds often benefit from pre-soaking for 4 to 8 hours to enhance germination rates and improve uniformity. Germination phase. After sowing, it's essential to keep the seeds in a dark, humid environment for the first 2 to 5 days. This mimics natural conditions and encourages uniform, compact germination. Once the cotyledons or the first leaves begin to emerge, move the trays to a light source and provide 12 to 16 hours of light per day. Consistent light exposure ensures robust growth and maximizes the microgreen's nutrient content. Lighting conditions for microgreen production. Microgreens require a moderate light intensity, typically around 150 to 250 micromole per square meter per second. This ensures strong growth without causing stress or photo damage. The spectrum of light also impacts growth. Blue wavelengths, which is 400 to 500 nanometer, promote vegetative growth, contributing to healthy stem elongation and leaf development, while red wavelengths, which is 600 to 700 nanometer, stimulate leaf expansion and chlorophyll production, which enhances the vibrant green color of the leaves. LED lighting is increasingly favored to provide light, especially in indoor conditions, due to its energy efficiency and ability to tailor the light spectrum. LED lights allow year-round production and give growers precise control over light intensity and duration. Now let's talk about optimal lighting for growth stages. During germination, seeds benefit from darkness or very low light, encouraging root development and strong uniform sprouting. Once the seeds have germinated, consistent light exposure is key. Providing 12 to 16 hours of light per day supports the development of strong cotyledons and ensures robust, healthy growth. At the leaf expansion stage, Increased light intensity supports the full expansion of leaves, contributing to vibrant color, enhanced flavor, and nutrient density. About temperature and humidity requirements. During germination, a warm temperature range of 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 to 27 degrees Celsius and humidity around 80% are crucial for optimal seed sprouting. A humidity dome can help maintain the necessary moisture levels. When seedlings develop, the ideal temperature range shifts slightly lower to 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 to 24 degrees Celsius, with a humidity level around 70%. Maintaining these conditions prevents seedlings from drying out and promotes healthy growth. For mature greens, a temperature range of 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 to 21 degrees Celsius is recommended. Lowering humidity to around 60 to 70% minimizes the risk of disease, particularly fungal issues. Regarding watering and nutrient management, use filtered or distilled water to ensure no harmful chemicals such as chlorine or heavy metals are present. These contaminants can damage delicate microgreen seedlings. Bottom watering, where water is absorbed from below the tray, is preferred as it reduces the risk of fungal growth. Top watering can be useful but must be done gently to avoid damaging the tender seedlings. And for nutrients, most microgreens do not need extensive fertilization if grown in nutrient-rich soil. However, in hydroponic systems or soilless mediums, a balanced nutrient solution may be required to ensure optimal growth. There are several watering techniques. Bottom watering involves placing the tray in a shallow matter basin, allowing the growing medium to absorb moisture from below. It minimizes the risk of disturbing delicate roots and prevents fungal issues. In top watering and misting, use a fine mist to avoid waterlogging the medium. Misting is particularly useful during the initial stages to maintain surface moisture without causing oversaturation. However, for larger scale production, drip irrigation systems can automate watering. These systems are highly efficient, delivering water directly to the root zone and ensuring even hydration throughout the growing process. Nutrient requirements. Nitrogen is critical for promoting healthy leaf growth and vibrant color. Nitrogen supports chlorophyll production, which is vital for photosynthesis. Phosphorus is important for root development and overall plant vigor. Phosphorus ensures that plants can efficiently uptake nutrients and grow strong, healthy root systems. Potassium is essential for regulating water balance, disease resistance, and promoting overall plant health. Potassium supports microgreens in withstanding stress and enhances nutrient transportation. And finally, calcium strengthens cell walls and supports overall structure, preventing issues like tip burn. It's also essential for regulating nutrient uptake, ensuring balanced plant health. Pests and diseases. Damping off is a fungal disease that attacks young seedlings, causing them to collapse. Proper watering techniques and good airflow can help prevent this issue. Powdery mildew appears as a white powdery residue on leaves, thrives in high humidity but can be managed by reducing moisture levels and ensuring good air circulation. And for pests, aphids are small, sap-sucking insects that can stunt growth, while fungus gnats lay larvae that feed on the plant roots. These pests require careful monitoring and can be controlled using organic insecticides or traps. Growing systems. There are various growing systems for microgreen production. Wall-mounted systems, mobile towers, and hydroponic systems are the most common systems. Wall-mounted units are excellent for urban farming, using minimal horizontal space while maximizing production. They can be fitted with automated watering and lighting, making them efficient for indoor environments. Mobile towers are portable and easy to move, allowing growers to adjust light and temperature conditions as needed. They are well suited for smaller scale urban growing setups. And vertical hydroponic setups can yield higher volumes of microgreens in a smaller footprint. These systems are designed to deliver precise amounts of nutrients and water to each plant, ensuring consistent and rapid growth. Hydroponic systems for microgreens are classified based on their irrigation and nutrient delivery systems. In deep water culture, the roots are suspended in nutrient-rich water. Oxygenation is crucial, and air stones are used to maintain adequate oxygen levels. It is a straightforward system and good for beginners. In ebb and flow systems or flood and drain systems, growing trays are periodically flooded with nutrient solution and then drained. This intermittent flooding helps aerate roots, promoting healthy growth. In drip hydroponic systems, emitters deliver a nutrient solution directly to the roots. They provide efficient water use and nutrient delivery, making them ideal for larger scale operations. Soil-based systems. Usually in soil-based systems, potting mix, coconut coir, and worm casting are used as substrates. A good potting mix provides a well-balanced environment for root growth with appropriate aeration and water retention. Make sure to use a sterilized potting mix to avoid introducing pests or pathogens. Coco coir retains moisture well and provides excellent aeration, making it a popular choice for growing microgreens. And vermicast or worm castings are rich in organic nutrients and enhance soil microbial health. It's often mixed with other substrates to improve nutrient content and support healthy growth. In microgreen production, there are challenges and solutions. Effective pest and disease control is vital, as microgreens are vulnerable to various pests and diseases due to their dense planting. Employing organic pesticides and maintaining a clean growing area are key practices. Maintaining precise control of temperature, humidity, and light is also crucial. Sudden changes can significantly impact yields, which is why many growers invest in controlled environments, such as grow rooms or greenhouses. As production scales up, the manual labor required for seeding, watering, and harvesting can become overwhelming. Automation, like conveyor belt seeding systems or automated irrigation, can improve efficiency. Another challenge is fluctuating demand for microgreens, influenced by factors like consumer trends and seasonal changes. Diversifying your customer base, supplying restaurants, grocery stores, and local farmers markets can reduce risks. And finally, for sustainability, microgreen growers should prioritize reducing water usage and plastic waste by choosing sustainable growing mediums and minimizing energy consumption through efficient lighting. In conclusion, microgreens represent a promising sector in agriculture offering both nutritional benefits and economic opportunities. They can be grown using various systems, whether traditional soil-based methods or modern hydroponic and vertical systems. This flexibility makes microgreens accessible for growers of all sizes, from hobbyists to commercial farmers. By focusing on best practices, sustainability, and ongoing innovation, growers can take advantage of this growing market and contribute positively to the food industry.
Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about how to seed your trays. So first of all, we want to make sure that we're wearing gloves for this. This will make sure that, even if you wash your hands, any pathogens that you may have touched on your way to the soil, stay out of the soil. So I have gone ahead and pre-weighed our seeds. So here I have our cilantro seeds that we're going to be seeding today. Gone ahead and pre-weighed those. And next you're going to need your trays. So again, we use the tray with holes and a tray without holes. Stack these together. And for cilantro, we're going to do about 1 inch of soil. Depending on the variety that you're growing, you might be able to get away with using a little bit less soil. But some varieties do require a little bit more soil. So we're gonna go ahead and put in about 1 inch of soil here. Now we want to get all those clumps out. Make sure that the soil is nice and even. This will prevent any low and high spots where your seeds might kind of collect, or especially in those high spots, the seeds won't really stay there. So you want to make sure that it's nice and even. So go ahead and spread this out. Give it a little shake. This is looking pretty good. You want to make sure that your soil is a little bit damp, not soggy, just damp. And this will make sure that you have a nice germination. If your soil is too dry, even though we're going to water this a little bit right before we stack, it might not be enough water to get them through germination, and you might see that you have a lower crop. And so there are a couple different ways that you can spread your seeds. I personally find it to be most efficient just to use my hand. But some people do like to use those shakers, or maybe even using this measuring thing, whatever you like, but I like to use my hand. I'll just get a little bit here, spread it, and we found that we can plant cilantro a little bit more densely. You'll notice that with some of your crops that they're fine being more densely planted, but it depends on your growing region or your growing conditions. You can find some great sources online to how densely you should be planting, and also recommendations as to if you should pre-soak your seeds or not. We found that with cilantro, you can pre-soak your seeds. You don't necessarily have to though. All right, so now we have our tray here. Pretty evenly filled, and next I'm going to add a little bit more soil on top. The cilantro does like a little bit of soil on top, and it just makes sure that those seed holes don't stick to the microgreen. You'll find this with some varieties. With sunflowers, it's the same thing. You kind of want to keep those seed holes, and with peas sometimes as well, it'll help get a nice even crop. So we'll just spread this evenly. And so now that we have this spread out pretty evenly, we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of water, just enough to soak the soil, not necessarily enough to drip down to the bottom tray, and that'll be just perfect. So we use the shower head sprayer here. Just a little bit of water will get them through germination. You can also use the mist setting or use like one of those chemical spray bottles, things like that, you know, whatever you find available to you. So we have watered our tray and now we're gonna label. So I've pre-made this label here. We like to include the date that we're planting and the variety, as well as any specifics, like if it's going to a specific client, anything like that. We'll go ahead and put that on the side. It makes it easy to see when they're on the shelves. And so our tray is pretty much ready. The last thing we're gonna do is put it into germination. So we put a tray on top of it like this, and then we'll put a couple bricks into here just to weigh it down. We found that about 6 trays high is about the highest you want to go. One time we had them kind of tip over, especially once they start germinating. This tray, you'll notice, kind of comes up a little bit, and so they'll, you know, they can fall over. So yeah, this is pretty much how you seed a tray. You'll want to wait until those seedlings have their kind of true leaves kind of emerging out. They'll be a little bit yellow or maybe white in those couple days, but as soon as you put them out on the shelves, they'll get their color. And depending on the variety, you'll be ready to harvest in 7 to 21 days. All right, so here we have some trays that have been in germination. They're not quite ready to go out on the shelves yet, but we can show y'all kind of what they look like. We're gonna go ahead and take this tray off. So here, these are some of the peas. We can see here that they've kind of started to germinate, but they're not quite pushing out of the soil yet. And so we'll give these a couple more days, and then they should be ready to harvest, or ready to be put out on the shelves, I mean. And then these are some of the sunflowers. So we can see that some of them have started to kind of push out of the soil, but again, these aren't quite ready yet. So we're gonna wait till their leaves are, those first leaves are coming out of the soil, and they'll be almost to the height of the tray, and then they'll be ready to get put on the shelves. And now down here, this is a tray of purple radish that's ready to go out on the shelf. So you can see that they're maybe about an inch tall here, and these will be ready to put out on the shelf and then ready to harvest in 3 to 5 days. All right, so really quick, we just wanted to talk about the different irrigation systems that you can use when watering your microgreens. So we personally here have a drip line installed on top of the shelf that is set to about the middle of the tray, and there's 2 emitters per tray. We found that this works pretty well. We did have to mess around with the time intervals of it and all, but overall the system has worked pretty well. Another thing that you could use are like the sprinkler or mister heads on the drip line. But you can encounter a little bit more mold issues with that, just because all the greens are getting wet and things like that. So I think the safest way to water the greens is to actually underwater. Although this does take a little bit more manual labor, if you're having a lot of mold issues, this might be what you want to do. You can automate this type of system, but basically what you do is pour your water into here, and then just make sure it has enough water for those greens. There are systems and trays big enough to support 4 trays on it, and that could work great as well. But we found that the drip line works best for us. We don't have to come out here as much, and we haven't encountered issues with that.
Harvesting, packaging, and post-harvest of microgreens. In this presentation, the essential aspects of microgreens harvesting, packaging, and post-harvest management will be discussed. These stages are just as crucial as growing them, since proper handling directly affects the product's flavor, nutritional value, and overall marketability. By mastering these practices, we can ensure that the microgreens remain as fresh and nutritious as possible, extending their shelf life and delivering the best quality to consumers. Our learning objectives for this lecture include understanding the optimal timing for harvesting microgreens and how different harvesting methods impact product quality. Second, exploring post-harvest handling, including washing, drying, and storage to maintain freshness. Third, examining different packaging options for preserving quality and extending shelf life. And finally, learning best practices for storage conditions and post-harvest handling to maximize shelf life and minimize waste. First, let's discuss harvesting and post-harvest handling of microgreens. Microgreens should be harvested at their peak, typically between 7 to 21 days after germination, when they have developed their first true leaves or cotyledons. Harvesting too early can lead to underdeveloped flavors, while late harvesting can cause toughness and loss of peak nutrients. For harvesting, use sharp scissors or a clean knife to cut microgreens approximately ½ inch above the soil line. It's essential to avoid pulling the seedlings, as this can damage the produce and reduce the quality of the remaining crop. Harvesting should ideally be done in the morning when microgreens are most crisp and flavorful. After harvesting, gently wash the microgreens in cold water to remove any debris or soil particles. Use a salad spinner or pat dry with a clean towel to remove excess moisture. Microgreens should be handled gently at all times to avoid bruising, which can lead to rapid deterioration. Make sure that after harvest, keep microgreens out of direct sunlight, as exposure can lead to wilting, discoloration, and a reduction in quality. It's also recommended to delay washing until just before consumption to maintain optimal texture. Packaging, storage, and shelf life of microgreens. Packaging plays a crucial role in preserving the quality, freshness, and visual appeal of microgreens. Choosing the right packaging is vital to protect microgreens from damage and preserve their shelf life. Clamshell containers are popular due to their transparency, which allows consumers to see the product. Clamshells are sturdy, stackable, and provide protection against crushing during transport. While convenient, their environmental impact raises concerns about plastic waste. Reusable containers like glass jars or metal tins offer a more sustainable solution. While these options are environmentally friendly, they may not be practical for large-scale operations. Produce bags that allow air circulation, prevent condensation, and help maintain freshness. This makes them a good option for short-term storage or local sales. And finally, biodegradable containers involve using biodegradable containers made from plant-based materials, which decompose naturally. These are especially appealing to eco-conscious consumers and help reduce plastic waste. Proper storage is essential for maintaining the freshness of microgreens. To prevent wilting and dehydration, they should be refrigerated in sealed containers at 35 to 39 Fahrenheit or 2 to 4 degrees Celsius in a high humidity environment, 90 to 95%. This condition extends their shelf life to 5 to 7 days. High humidity preserves turgor, ensuring crisp leaves, while avoiding excessive dryness, which prevents flavor and texture loss. It's worth noting that packaging with fresh date and nutritional labeling enhances consumer confidence. Preserving freshness. Proper storage at 35 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 to 4 degrees Celsius and 90 to 95% humidity preserves microgreens freshness for 5 to 7 days by inhibiting bacterial growth and wilting. This maintains their color, texture, and flavor. Keeping harvested microgreens in high humidity is vital for preserving moisture, preventing wilt, and maintaining freshness. Dryness causes flavor and texture loss due to turgor reduction. That's why storing harvested microgreens in a high humidity environment like a refrigerator or controlled humidity space is essential. Packaging, labeling, and presentation. Effective labeling not only helps consumers understand the value of the product, but also enhances its marketability. Labels should include nutritional information, highlighting the abundance of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants present in microgreens can attract health-conscious buyers. Freshness or harvest date helps consumers determine the best time to consume the product. Sustainability claims, which include information about sustainable practices such as using biodegradable packaging or organic growing methods, can further appeal to environmentally aware consumers. Another aspect of packaging is aesthetic appeal. Clean, neat, and visually appealing packaging can make a significant difference in attracting buyers, especially at farmers markets and organic stores. As an overview of post-harvest handling best practices, always harvest microgreens when their cotyledons are fully developed, usually within 1 to 3 weeks after germination. Harvesting early in the morning ensures that they are crisp and flavorful. Store harvested microgreens in sealed containers or wrapped in plastic to retain moisture. High humidity prevents the delicate leaves from wilting, and the optimal storage temperature is crucial to delay microbial growth. And when handling microgreens, avoid excessive washing, as it can damage the leaves and shorten shelf life. Instead, rinse them gently under cold water just before they are used to ensure freshness without causing undue damage. To conclude, harvesting, packaging, and post-harvest handling are critical steps in microgreen production that ensures maximum flavor, nutritional value, and freshness for consumers. The correct timing of harvest, proper handling, and proper packaging and storage are all essential to extend shelf life and maintain quality. By adopting sustainable packaging options and emphasizing the importance of cold storage, growers can enhance their marketability while minimizing waste.
Now we are going to harvest the microgreens. Today we are going to be harvesting radishes. And just like all microgreens, the quality of your product depends on the harvesting method. Today we will be utilizing a harvesting knife to make this process very fast and clean. Before we get started, we have to make sure to wash our hands and sanitize. I have already done that step. That way we ensure that our product stays clean and we don't cross-contaminate anything. Next, we'll make sure that we have all of our items ready to go. So we have our product that we will be harvesting, our paper towels and our harvesting tool, and our disinfectant to clean off our harvesting knife just in case it gets covered in dirt or soil or any other thing we don't want in our product. Then we have our gloves to maintain our hands and our product clean, our scale, and our harvesting containers. These have already been measured and they weigh 0.5 ounces. So we want to fill this up with 1.5 ounces of our product. That way there's enough oxygen and room in here to keep the product as fresh as possible for the longest amount of time. Now let's get started. I'm going to put on my gloves. And now I'm going to grab my harvesting knife and make sure to disinfect it. I'm gonna make sure that I spray away from the product. And then I'm gonna use a paper towel to clean it off. And then dispose of the paper towel in the trash. And I like to lay down a paper towel so when I'm done using the knife, it doesn't get contaminated with the table. Now this next step is very important. Since the microgreens are only a few inches tall, we want to make sure we grab as closest to the bottom, and then with our knife, we want to slide our knife right under our fingers, but please make sure not to cut yourself, and slowly cut towards you. Next, we'll turn over our product to make sure that there's no soil on it, and to make sure that the greens we harvested are ready to be packaged. Then we'll put them in this container, and we'll keep repeating the process. Like this one has some soil, so we'll just get rid of that. We'll wipe off our knife, and then keep going. Now let's weigh our container. When weighing your container, it's best if you close the lid, but you want to make sure that you don't accidentally catch any of the microgreens in the lid, because then it'll cause the microgreens to rot faster. And it's at our perfect weight that we need, and that's how you harvest microgreens. Now that we have learned how to harvest, we're going to learn how to properly package the microgreens. We will be using this clamshell container to package our microgreens. This clamshell can hold about 1.5 ounces of product. We don't want to go over that amount because then the microgreens won't have enough space to breathe, and they will oxidate faster and rot. And we want to make sure that we package properly so our product has a really long shelf life and stays fresh. So to ensure that our product stays fresh, before closing the lid, we want to make sure that no microgreens or leaves are in the seam where the lid is going to close, because if it traps the microgreen, it's going to cause it to rot. So let's just squeeze them in there. So now our seams are free of product, and you want to keep your microgreens in the refrigerator at 33 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius. This will make sure that the product stays fresh and clean.
Maximizing efficiency in microgreen production. This presentation will discuss the strategies to maximize efficiency in microgreen production. Efficiency is crucial for running a successful microgreen business, as it directly impacts profitability and sustainability. By implementing key strategies, you can optimize your operations, increase productivity, and streamline processes. Let's first learn some terminologies related to yield and productivity. Yield per square foot is a critical metric for profitability. It indicates how much produce you can harvest from a given area. To calculate it, divide the total harvested weight by the growing area. Increasing yield density while maintaining quality can boost profitability without needing additional space. Harvest cycles. Maximizing the number of harvest cycles per year is key to boosting productivity. Microgreens have a short growth cycle of 1 to 3 weeks, enabling multiple harvests per year. Optimizing growth conditions allows for consistent, quick turnover. Production costs. Keep track of expenses, including materials, labor, energy, and overhead. Reducing costs through efficient processes such as vertical growing systems or energy-saving LED lighting can significantly improve your bottom line. And market price. Market prices vary based on demand, supply, and a variety of microgreens. Since microgreens are nutrient-dense and versatile, they are often sold at a premium. Understand your local market and adjust pricing strategies accordingly to maximize revenue. Let's talk about sustainability. Microgreen production uses significantly less water compared to traditional agriculture, often requiring 90 to 95% less water. This makes them an environmentally friendly option, especially in water-scarce regions. Efficient resource utilization means lower costs and a smaller environmental footprint. Microgreens are also perfect for urban agriculture, which uses underused urban spaces like rooftops or basements. This reduces transportation needs, which in turn cuts down carbon emissions and supports local food security by providing fresh produce close to consumers. Due to their short growth cycle, microgreen production generates less waste than traditional farming. Any discarded plant material can be composted, contributing to a circular economy and enhancing the sustainability of your production system. And finally, microgreens support urban food security by offering nutrient-dense crops with minimal environmental impact. They are easily cultivated in urban spaces and can help provide consistent fresh produce to city populations. Now let's talk about microgreen business opportunities. Selling microgreens directly at farmers markets, online platforms, or local grocery stores allows you to establish a direct connection with consumers, enabling personalized interactions. This approach gives you control over pricing and helps build brand loyalty. Another opportunity is partnering with restaurants and food service businesses as a wholesale supplier, which provides an income stream. The key here is to deliver high-quality products, consistently meet delivery schedule, and establish strong relationships. Microgreen kits. Microgreen kits is an excellent opportunity, providing comprehensive instructions and high-quality seeds ensures customers' success and satisfaction. This model also helps raise awareness and builds customers' loyalty by engaging them in the growing process. And finally, expanding your offerings to include products like microgreen powders, pestos, or infused oils can diversify your income streams. Such value-added products have a longer shelf life and appeal to a broader audience. Now let's compare microgreens with other production systems. Microgreens are harvested when the cotyledon leaves have fully emerged, giving them concentrated flavor and nutrients. They are popular in gourmet dishes as garnishes in salads, and as functional foods. Baby greens are harvested later than microgreens once the true leaves have matured. They are larger and have a more developed texture, commonly used in salads or as sandwich fillers. But sprouts are harvested before any true leaves appear. They are grown without a medium, which makes them more vulnerable to contamination. Sprouts added a crunchy texture, but must be carefully managed to avoid health risks. Before discussing the strategies for maximizing efficiency, let's take a look at the trends and future of microgreens. Consumer demand is growing. Driven by their nutritional value, microgreens are increasingly sought after by health-conscious consumers and those adopting plant-based diets. Technological advancements such as vertical farming, hydroponics, and automation are reshaping microgreen production. Technologies like AI can also optimize growth conditions, managing resource allocation, and predict potential issues, thereby increasing efficiency. Microgreens also meet sustainable food production standards because they require less water, fewer chemicals, and can be grown hydroponically or aeroponically. They help reduce the overall environmental impact of food production. Considering the innovation in the culinary applications of microgreens, chefs are incorporating microgreens in new and creative ways, from cocktails to desserts, due to their intense flavor and visual appeal. Microgreen-based products like powders or oils offer even more opportunities for culinary innovation. Now I'm going to discuss the steps you need to follow to maximize microgreen production efficiency. First, strategic farm layout. Analyze workflow. Assess your workflow and identify key stages where efficiency can be improved. This can help you decide where to place workstations and equipment for maximum efficiency. Optimize placement by positioning supplies and tools in a way that minimizes movement. For example, keep trays and seeding supplies close to the planting area to reduce the time spent moving between tasks. Create zones by designating specific seeding, growing, harvesting, and packaging areas to keep your workspace organized and efficient. Clear zones reduce confusion and streamline the workflow. Proactive time management. Prioritize tasks. Focus on high-impact activities that contribute directly to your business goals, like providing yields or expanding sales channels. Schedule smartly and plan your day to balance routine tasks and strategic projects. Allocate the most productive hours of your day to high priority tasks and use quieter periods for lower impact activities. Use downtime wisely. During less busy times, complete small tasks to stay ahead of schedule. This helps ensure that there are no delays when demand is high. And regularly review your time management practices and adjust to improve efficiency over time. Next, batch stacks for efficiency. For example, prepare multiple trays at once by adding soil and sowing seeds in batches. This reduces setup time and increases consistency. Water groups of trays together. It's more efficient and helps maintain a consistent moisture level across all trays. Harvest by variety or customer order, all at once. Doing so minimizes equipment changes and ensures a smooth workflow. Package microgreens in batches to streamline the process and reduce downtime. How can we implement efficiency strategies? Start small, then scale up. Start by implementing one efficiency strategy at a time. This allows you to evaluate the impact before scaling up or making further changes. Track key performance indicators such as time spent on each task and yield rates to understand the effects of efficiency improvements. Involve your team in the process. Encourage them to suggest ideas for improving efficiency, as they are often best placed to notice bottlenecks or challenges. And be willing to adjust your strategies as your business evolves. Scaling up may require new approaches to stay efficient. There are also innovative equipment solutions. For example, use wheeled multi-shelf racks to move multiple trays at once. This minimizes physical effort and reduces the time spent transporting trays between zones. Automated systems that water multiple trays at a time can significantly reduce manual labor, freeing up time for other tasks. Use adjustable LED lighting, which helps optimize energy use and enhances growth rates. Customizing the light spectrum also supports different growth stages, leading to healthier microgreens. And invest in specialized tools designed for clean and quick harvesting, which reduces labor time and ensures a consistent cut. Develop efficient procedures. For example, create detailed guidelines for each task, from seeding to packaging. Include best practices and step-by-step instructions to ensure consistency. Regularly review your procedures to find and eliminate bottlenecks. Identify steps that could be combined or removed to streamline processes. And ensure all team members are trained on standard procedures to reduce errors and increase efficiency. Encourage ongoing feedback to refine processes continuously. And finally, plan for future growth. Define specific and measurable growth objectives for your microgreen business. This could involve increasing production capacity, expanding to new markets, or developing new product lines. Identify potential obstacles to growth, such as labor shortage or resource limitations, and develop strategies to address them. As demand grows, plan for increased production capacity by investing in additional infrastructure, like more growing racks or automated systems. And finally, stay open to new technologies and methods, such as automation, AI, or other advancements in microgreen farming to stay competitive and efficient. By maximizing efficiency, we can ensure the sustainability and profitability of microgreen production. I encourage each of you to evaluate your current practices and consider which strategies from today's discussion could make the most significant impact on your operations.